environment, our air. You know, there's 3,000 new chemicals added to the atmosphere every year. How do they take out the old ones? They don't. You just have a dirtier and dirtier environment, so your body's always adapting. So we are under more stresses than they were 200 years ago, you know, physically, emotionally, and mentally. So when we start talking about HCG, this hormone, and we diluted it down and made it stronger energetically, what that energy does, it doesn't go into the stomach like a vitamin or a green food or a, you know, you probably take some kind of essential fatty acid, maybe some of you. You know, a lot of you probably take supplements, right?
Yes.
I do too. Those are called biochemical substances. They have to go into the mouth and into the, he's calling me at 6 o'clock at night, let's cut that off. They have to go through the digestive tract. They're broken down in the stomach, and then they're moved into the small intestine. They're broken down even further there, and then the substance is actually absorbed into the bloodstream through the colon and into the body. So you take it from a chemical and you turn it into energy by the time it gets down here. That takes a couple of hours. On homeopathy, if I were to take, let's say, a homeopathic remedy, you've seen the little tablets you put in your mouth or little pellets?
Yes.
That's got this liquid on it. In fact, this made me feel pretty good. This is the hemorrhoid formula. Why didn't you give me that one? Why didn't you give me a good one? Okay, so when you see those little tablets or pellets, you're supposed to put them under your tongue because it's a good place to hold on to them. That little pellet is made out of sugar or lactose. Actually, the minute it hits your saliva in your mouth, you can spit it out because it's already in your body. It's just on the outside of it. A tablet, they spray powder, okay? I didn't mean to get any hemorrhoid stuff on any of you here. They spray the powder and let it dry, and then they compress that powder into a tablet. And that tablet then will dissolve over a little bit of time in your mouth, and then it will put it in your body. A liquid like this, it's instant. It's just homeopathy. It's in water, okay? It's memory. So it's already going through my body at 200 miles an hour. It takes about 5 to 10 seconds to reach every one of those hundreds and hundreds of trillions of cells. Those cells, you know, your body likes to be in homeostasis, in balance. It doesn't like to be in dis-ease, which is disease, right? So when you give it the right energy, instead of suppressing it like a prescription medicine, you know, all these things out there that make you feel like you're not in pain, but you really are, you know, the Advils, the Tylenols, the oxycodones. You got any more of that oxycodone with you? We can show them some of those. Let's pass one around, okay? Anyway, those things there make you feel like you aren't in pain, but there really is still pain there. They don't cure the problem, they suppress it. So when I take a homeopathic, it goes to every one of those cells that wants to be in balance, and if I give it the right ingredients, it just causes it to go back in balance. You probably said to somebody at some point in your life, you know, I feel off today. I don't feel myself today, you know, things are, you know, I'm not quite right. You're actually speaking of your body being out of balance. You know, and we see it when we have all kinds of digestive issues, or we have pain, or we have, that's the body telling you it's out of balance and for you to rest or take care of the problem. And then what do? We suppress it with something that, you know, tells it what's not going on. We just keep on going, right? That's not the right idea. We're supposed to balance that. You know, so homeopathy reaches those cells and is asked very gently to balance itself. So if you're in a crisis, you can take it every 10 minutes, never overdose on it, but it will keep reminding the body. Let's say you had diarrhea, and things are going wrong, right? You can take it every 10 minutes until the body stopped, and then maybe go to every hour just to make sure, well, did I get it all? I'm okay, right? That's how homeopathy works. But we didn't have to pour that pink stuff down our belly here and hope that it plugged it up. I think it forms a cork in there at some point, and then you just don't go anymore. I don't know. But that's what you know. That's the difference here. We get the body to correct itself. If you had the flu, we actually use flu viruses to tell the body to build immunity towards it. So you either can do prevention, or you can do, if you're in the middle of the flu, anybody here in 1918 when we had the terrible flu pandemic? No?
Close to it.
I was there. I was about 15. Okay? So millions, talking about millions of people died from the flu all over the world. They were dying in the streets. Guess what? If you go on Google that on your computer, it will tell you the statistics from 1918. It's all there. It's history. What happened was, if you went to a medical doctor in 1918, 30% of those people died. That was one choice you could make. They were doing everything they could to save lives, and almost a third of them died. If you went to a homeopathic doctor in 1918, which in Philadelphia we had Samuel Hahnemann Hospital, which was a homeopathic teaching hospital, and homeopaths were everywhere in this country, you had less than 1% of those people die. Why? Because they took the actual virus, they diluted it down, they gave it to a sick person or even someone who was well, and they built immunity to the virus and they didn't die. They got well. What a unique concept. The United States government built a huge monument to Samuel Hahnemann in Washington, D.C. right after that. Big monument. You stand next to Samuel Hahnemann's statue, you're just a little tiny little person. It's not on the regular big mall, it's off in a little side street somewhere, you probably won't find it, but it's there. Built with the Americans' money because they honored him for all the things he did for the medicine in this country. Pretty cool. So go back to HCG again. If we've got all this pregnant women's urine and we've taken out these particular, enzymes and things out there that we can use, if you were to take that product and you were to spray it before a meal, well actually HCG in general, let's just talk about HCG because our product's different. HCG in general, you could actually take it and it would attack fat through the digestive tract. If you had an area that you were wanting to work on, my pregnancy, I lost 2 inches around my waist by spraying this. My wife said, you're going to get rid of that baby. So I'm spraying it here. As you do that, it goes through the skin and attacks that fat. The reason they tell you a 500-calorie diet is because they want you to cut out all carbs, and they want to get you into starvation mode, because remember that baby that was protected even if there wasn't food coming in? They create that same environment. But you don't have to go to that extreme. If you eat, an unusual case where you eat lean meats, vegetables are good for you, and fruits, and you eat smaller amounts more often and cut out the carbs, it will attack your fats. If you eat carbs, chips, bread, whatever, it will attack the carb. It will attack it right in the stomach. Maybe neutralize the fact that you're going to take in that sugar, but still it won't attack the fat. So we've got to take that product without carbs. And you can see HCG out here. You guys carry 1 ounce and 2 ounce, and they have even 1 1-ounce bottle in a great big box. It makes it look like it's really an enormous thing, but it's a little tiny bottle in there. And there was one out there for $70. It was a 1 ounce. I think you have a 2 ounce. It's over $100. I think. I don't know. No. Yeah. Anyway, so there's a lot of companies that are really putting like $150 a shot. They're making their money too. We make most of that HCG for all these other companies. We charge them $3 or $4 a bottle, and they sell it to you guys for $60 to $100 or whatever. I don't know. It's all over the board, and this is what the FDA is telling you, and we work very closely with the FDA because we have an FDA-registered manufacturing plant. They're in our plant every day, and they know what's going on. They're saying that if you use an ingredient out of this pharmacopoeia, you can make the claims. If you use an ingredient that's not in here, you can't make a claim until you've had clinical studies. And you've proven to the government, just like any other drug, that you can make a claim. The products that are using HCG only are illegal because they're saying it's for weight loss. That is a claim. We know it works, but you can't make a claim on something that hasn't had a clinical study. So what we have done, because we make all those other products for these other people, we take the same HCG and put it in our product, 2 ounces. I think you sell it for $13.99, so you got your choice of $13.99 or $71, whatever you want to do. Okay, it comes out of the same plant. It's the same pregnant women's urine. Okay, we did everything the same way. We might have put theirs in alcohol or glycerin or sometimes water. Depends on what they wanted us to do. But we also put about 23 or 24 other ingredients that are legal according to this book and the FDA for making weight loss claims. These are official homeopathics that are known to create less appetite. We even put in things like PHAT. Do you know what that is? Pituitary, hypothalamus, adrenal, and thyroid. We can actually put glandulars in here that keep your thyroid balanced, to keep your hypothalamus balanced, your adrenals. You know how much problem adrenals are in this country today? People drink high caffeine drinks with high sugar content. You ever heard of Full Throttle or Red Bull? Or we are burning out people's adrenals, and they are going to be a sick puppy for a long time. It's hard to rebuild your adrenals. You have to come and see that guy back there. He's going to give you a bunch of stuff, and it's going to take some time. Causes anger, it causes all kinds of problems. I mean, it's bad. So they're running off a straight adrenaline, and when that kicks out, they start going off of caffeine and sugar. We have to put all those things in here because even though we know the HCG is going to eat the fat, we also have to help you with the emotional eating and all the physical effects of weight loss. So if you took this product before a meal, you would actually have the brain telling the stomach that it's fuller faster and you wouldn't eat as much food. It also has flower essences in there. Anybody, you probably use flower essences. Flower essences are a beautiful thing. They were first discovered by Dr. Bach over in England. I think it's Bach is what they say. And it's for emotions. And guess what? Most of our eating is emotional. Okay? We aren't hungry. We're emotional. We're thinking about, I'm going to miss a meal. Oh my gosh, I better eat some more now. We're always trying to expand the stomach, right? You may just feel bad, I didn't get that new car, so I'm going to eat a candy bar or whatever, There's always some kind of emotional trigger. Maybe you're sad, whatever. So we put in things in here that show up the emotional part of your life. And we put in that pituitary, hypothalamus, adrenal, and thyroid because once you start losing weight, if you don't balance those, you're going to gain it right back anyway. And I don't know how many of you actually soak in a tub. The neat thing about it is with homeopathy, it's a multiple of dilutions. So I can put 3 sprays in the tub, and it becomes all homeopathic. You can soak in it, and actually will go through your pores into those fat areas anyway. That's another nice thing to do before we go to bed. Let's get on that fat thing and dissolve it while we're sleeping, right? If you cut down your carbs and go to those other food groups like, proteins of meat, fish, and you eat vegetables and you eat fruits, you're going to lose a lot of weight. Some people lose 1 to 2 pounds a day. That's once you get your body's metabolism into that mode, and then if it's an area like, I saw a lady the other day and she had beautiful body, but her underarms were huge. But everything else was like perfect, So she's spraying that area only. My boss, Gravity, he's 58, has taken place where he had a waddle under here because fat had deposited underneath his chin and it was coming down because of gravity. He's been spraying that area and it's getting tight right up to his chin. That's a nice little thing. And he works out. Sometimes you can work out all you want. You're not going to lose the fat. Okay, so does that help you a little bit thinking about an additional thing to put into your regimen for weight loss? But you always ought to think about what's the root cause of the problem. What really caused my metabolism to get out of whack to where I am just, as I got older, I can't get the weight off anymore. There's a lot of issues going on. I read you that nice little paragraph about our HGH, human growth hormone. Sorry, I was all on my HCGs all of a sudden. I get them mixed up, HCG, HGH. As we get older, our pituitary starts to make less of what it's supposed to make to keep us younger. And other organs start making less of what they're supposed to do. And we can get things like digestive issues. You've ever seen on TV, Maalox, Mylanta, Tums, Prilosec, Nexium, all these different things. So many people have problems from the throat all the way down through the butt, they can't digest anything. So even when they take supplements, maybe they go right through them. How many of you take probiotics every day? How many of you done that? Okay. That's actually allopathic when you have to do them every day. Your colon probably isn't balanced to the point where maybe the lining has gone out.